Okay, here we are at the Virtual Business Owners Network on the 25th of March 2022, where our guest presenter today is Seamus Power, and he wants to talk about a focus on the personal and business benefits of investing in personal health and well-being practices. This session will focus specifically on the power of our self-talk in our lives and our engagement with others. And without further ado, let me welcome Seamus Power. Welcome, Seamus.
Thanks, Alex, and thank you for the opportunity, and hello, good morning to everyone. Yeah, this is, I suppose, a passion project for me after a long time on autopilot in the corporate world, and I finally found out later in my life, I guess, what I wanted to do and where I serve myself best, and perhaps how I serve others best and how I serve business best. So that's the context, and the setup today from Darren and Beth and what they spoke to, I think sets me up nicely as well around the connection to self and our self-worth and what's going on up here, and how we can actually harness that as a tool to actually help ourselves perform better and help our businesses perform better. So as I was chatting to Alec about the session today, I mentioned to Alec, would like to do a chat maybe about health and well-being and drive awareness of the importance of health and well-being purely from a person perspective, which we're probably all aware of, but maybe begin to bridge that into business performance. And I think we're at a place now post-COVID where more and more businesses are now beginning to realize the power of connection back to self with the blend of business, work, and how people are working, and people maybe standing up and beginning to think about the work they're doing and maybe step out of perhaps an autopilot journey that I can certainly resonate with. And I think more and more businesses are ready to begin to assess and think about how we bridge from, I would describe the hard-nosed business aspect of how business has always been done, into really converting the focus on people. And we've all heard businesses over the years, people are our greatest asset. But it's to connect with people at a fundamentally different level is really what I wanted to speak to today. So as I was speaking to Alex said, well, health and well-being, really, what is health and well-being? What is the whole thing about? And Alex kind of mentioned, it's like IT, IT is such a vague, broad term. What does health and well-being really mean? And it kind of got me thinking in preparation for today. So thanks for that, Alec. And really, I've summed it up into 3 short sentences. So I have an idea of what health and well-being is, in the same way we have an idea of what IT is. I don't really need to know how it works necessarily, it's just there. But when I don't have it, I really realize how important it is in my life and how much I've become to depend on it. And it's only when it's not there, I realize the importance. And I think that's very true for IT. We all know when the HSE was hit by the cyber, the impact that had on the IT service, the health services, but also on the way the health services was able to deliver. And if we have an impact on our health and well-being in the very same way, we take it for granted essentially. And until it's not there, it's the whats and ifs and buts kick in. So that's the context of today, and to help, I suppose, provide a trigger for people. And this is what Powering Health, when I set up Powering Health, was about intervening and acting before something happens from a health and well-being perspective. So I guess how I wanted to develop the conversation today and really have people to think about health and well-being in their own businesses was communication. And again, in my own corporate experience, communication was often the key topic when it came to brainstorming strategy, business success, business growth. In this hard-nosed business world, what were the key drivers of business success? And invariably, communication came to the top of the list. Invariably, it became communication with our customers, communication with their higher level teams, communication with our employees, communication with our peers, with communication left, right, up and down. But there was one piece of communication that came back to me pretty crystal clear in the last couple of years, and that is the communication back here and the communication back here. And really, that's my work right now, and that's my mission today on this talk, is to really help as many people as possible to switch from this externally focused, busy world of communication out to realizing the power of, well, communication within is the fundamental building block of how we show up for ourselves and how we show up for everyone else that we touch, including our families, closest people to us, our friends, colleagues, and our businesses. And for me, that's where I help people right now, is to allow, and that word allow is coming up again and again and again, to step in here. To breathe is the key tool that I use. And there's a lovely video from Alan Watkins where he shares about how breathing is bridging into the science of the heart and heart rate variability as a key indicator of personal performance. And my starting point from everyone I work with is breathe and give yourself a chance to catch up with yourself. And that has a direct impact on heart rate variability. I don't have time to speak to heart rate variability today, but it's a central component of heart focused breathing, which is a system I use from HeartMath. HeartMath is a global organization. They've got some technology. This is the technology I use. You click your ear, it measures your heart rate variability. So when you begin to breathe and slow down and perform, you're beginning to perform at a different level. And Alan Watkins describes it specifically. It alters your brain function. But when you're giving yourself a chance to disconnect from this external busy communication and doing out here, and coming back to the simple technique of breathing, which can be done very, very quickly. And it's not mindfulness, it's not meditation. It's giving yourself a chance just to breathe. And it's physiologically changing. Here, what's going on, and here, and allowing that connection back into what I describe, what really matters. And it changes the whole dynamic of how you perform as a person in the moment, but also the chances of how you're going to perform into the future as well, once you begin to experience the benefit of that slowing down, that connection. That's a personal experience I've had myself. That's why I'm so passionate about the balance of shifting from here to perhaps a better balance of here. And we all live in a real world. We all have daily challenges. We all have business challenges, personal challenges that require our attention out here. But there's great power in being able to actually balance and use the foundation of the personal connection to self and this thing here, and have a more compassionate approach to how we show up for ourselves, and in that way how we show up for others. So what I'd like to invite you to do for about 30 seconds to a minute is just take 3 or 4 deep breaths as a mechanism to just breathe and experience the power of silence and the power of deeper than normal, comfortable breaths, both on the inhale and the exhale. So let's just I invite you all to do that. You can do whatever you do at this time. You can breathe or not, it's up to you. But I'd invite you to take about a minute or so just to breathe. Oh, congratulations. If you've you've managed in the last 30 seconds or a minute or so to alter your brain function. So to finish off, I just had a very small visual tool that I use, and I think is powerful to drive home the point of that connection to self. So a rubber band, it's how we're born to move with the freedom and the joy and the energy of the rubber band. That's how we're born as individuals, as people. And somehow, over time, there's a little rubber band in this loop. We kind of get conditioned and restricted and not being able to move in the way we were born and the way we were designed to move. And it becomes layered upon layered upon layered, and we all have our own journey, we all have our own experiences. But somehow those experiences tend to restrict that natural movement we have within ourselves as people, as individuals. And that analogy can be very much applied to business. So we've all, I think, heard the term business, being agile in the business world, and being agile and being able to move as your business should move, the way you were designed to move. So this analogy really of the freedom to move as you were, it's around that personal connection as an antidote to help you to connect to who you really are and to harness the power of who you really are, to move with that freedom. And it's no different really for your business, and allowing your business through tweaks to processes, tweaks, tools, like we began with the IT analogy today. So most of our businesses today are dependent on some element of IT, but it's also the people element. And if you're looking to make tweaks on the human side of your business, I'd love to hear from you and that conversation to help you shift, perhaps personally, towards the freedom and movement of showing up to yourself as yourself and harnessing the benefits of that, but also the benefits of that for your business and how you show up, and how you can then begin to cascade, if you've got employees in your business, to be able to actually help those employees share and experience the same benefits of rebalancing that connection between the external communication and the communication back here. So as it happens, I have an event I'm running right now that goes into in detail the fundamental connection and the power of that connection to human performance and how it translates into business performance. So it's called Step Away for a Day. So if you're interested in learning more, I'd love to have a follow-up conversation. So I'm open to any questions. I think I'm within time, Alex, so I'm open to any questions at this stage. And I think that's triggered for anyone who has any questions to ask at this stage.
Okay, Seamus, listen, thanks very much. I'm going to stop the recording now, but thanks very much for that. Very interesting presentation, and we'll open it up now in a second